It's Thursday, the 31st day of August 2023. Welcome to the morning bulletin here on your best experience. My name is Obed Gaglo. The headlines in a bit. Coming up, MPP National Council to vote in runoff between Adainimo and Gaglo on September 2. Decision was taken after a council meeting yesterday. National Labour Commission orders striking colleges of education to call off industrial action. This is to pave way for the NLC to resolve the freezing of salaries of members, but SITAC says they will continue until their demands are met. And COVID-19 Trust Fund officially ends operation yet today after raising over 65 million Ghana cedis to deal with the pandemic which hit the country 3.5 years ago. And in business, Hotel Association urged government to review taxes in the hospitality industry. We have details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Do stay with us. MPP. Grateful for your time this morning. Now let's begin the bulletin from the camp of the New Patriotic Party. Now the New Patriotic Party will on Saturday, September 2, 2023, hold a runoff between Adainimo and former Energy Minister Gaglo after a tie between the two flag-bearer aspirants who garnered 9 votes each in the Super Delegate Conference. General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodia Frimpong, at a briefing yesterday, announced that only members of the National Council will vote in the special exercise.
As you recall, just this Saturday, we had our superdelegate elections. After the elections and counting was done, there was a tie on the 5th position between Honorable Adainimo and Mr. Gaglo. Hitherto, the elections committee, by their guidelines, under section 25 stated that where there is a tie, there will be a rerun to get a clear winner or victor. However, today, National Council, which is the body that constituted the Presidential Election Committee, varied Section 25 of the rules and guidelines by the Presidential Elections Committee to read that yes, there will be a rerun, but the rerun, the delegates will not be the special delegates or the delegate that constituted the special delegate, but however, the National Council will break the tie, meaning that members of the National Council are going to be the delegates for the elections on Saturday. And the reason being that, as you all know, the superdelegates has membership including our external branches who came from far and near to come and cast their vote, and some of them have left. And also the constitution of our party under Article 10.3 gives the National Council the power to take decisions in the best.
Now, Chairman of the MPP Discipline Committee, Kwesi Amwakwata, says the Superdelegate Conference proceeded relatively peace despite some reported infractions in certain voting centers. The party's General Secretary has officially submitted a complaint to the committee, and Makwata assured that necessary actions will be taken.
Generally, everything went well. We have heard of some infractions, some few infractions here and there. The General Secretary has officially referred it to us, we are yet to meet and then to do our own investigation and come out with our decision. But I don't want to comment on it now because we haven't gone into it. I'm being careful about my comment on it. No, the fact that we recorded 1 or 2 infractions doesn't mean that we should throw our arms, in desperation.
Still in the camp of the New Patriotic Party, Majority Leader Osei Kyei-Mensah says he was hooted at by supporters of the key contender of the just-ended presidential primaries, Alan Kojo Tremantin, at KNUST over the weekend when the party held its superdelegate conference. According to the Swami MP, the actions of the supporters in the Ashanti region was born out of sheer ignorance of comments he made up about the winning margin ahead of the elections on August 26, 2023. Kyei-Mensah was speaking to journalists on the sidelines of the National Executive Committee meeting of the NPP here in Accra.
When I go to the grounds, somebody then raised the issue. This is Kyei-Mensah one neighbor no say we be 70% of contestants will be 70% and me and Twabebia. Na more heckle no. I heard that comment. It didn't worry me because I thought it was sheer pedestrianism and people were contriving to bring violence. So you ignore them because there was no truth in that. What I had said, I was at a Bushia FM station and one of the key supporters of Alan, I was told, had been at Abusia, and she was the one. She's called Hilda Ado. Kojo Mafo, Kojo Mafo is the host there. So it was who told me that the woman had said that if a person garnered 95%, then the rest of them should have a rethink, and asked me what I thought about it. And I said, well, our constitution provides that if there are 5 people, there should be a rerun involving 5 who will come atop. However, if that is a principle that is espousing, then why even the figure 90 or 95% and not 70%?
Still in the camp of the New Patriotic Party, amidst allegations of wrongdoing during the recent MPP Superdelegate Conference, Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Entry Boisianko, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, has refuted claims against Baumia camp. He stated that it was Alan Tremantin's team that displayed hostility, leading to reported violence and injuries in the Bono and Northeast regions.
Listen, let me tell you, I was there personally. I was there personally when the majority leader was coming and then Alan people was hooted at him. Yes, they was attacking him. Why? They was attacking him. So if the same people want to, Nicodemously want to turn themselves to complain, I find it very perplexed. That's the same people who can hoot at somebody can also change yourself into the lesson. We have had a good success, beautiful elections, and it's a very peaceful.
Away from politics, the National Labour Commission has issued a firm directive to the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CETAG, to promptly terminate their month-long strike action without delay. According to the commission, CETAG has petitioned it to task government to pay their August salaries, which has since been frozen by the Controller and Accountant General Department per directive from the Minister of Education. The NLC wants CETAG to end the strike urgently whilst resolving the salary dispute through established processes.
Give intention to go on this strike. The commission wrote to them as far back as 31st of July before they could proceed on the strike. They still went ahead. They were invited before the commission. They wrote to the commission that there were no issues for discussion to be heard. We invited them the second time. They refused to appear. And it has been so through the whole of the month of August until today. And today, why are they here? Because their salaries have been blocked by their employers They have petitioned the very commission. They have ignored this directive. This time coming before it to direct their employers to pay them. The commission can only direct payment when it has gone into the matter, it has considered it. And the commission will not entertain the hearing of a matter either by facilitation, arbitration, mediation when there is a strike. That is the direction of the commission, that call off the strike, then they will look at the matter.
Now, non-governmental organization Curious Minds Ghana is advocating for a community policing policy to tackle high and growing incidents of teenage pregnancies in Ghana. This comes as part of recommendations from research based on the situational analysis of young women access to sexual and reproductive health services. Case more.
According to new research by a non-governmental organization, Curious Minds, and the Sociology Department of the University of Ghana, 60% of rape cases in coastal areas in Ghana are treated as family matters, which leaves the culprits unpunished. The research also found high level of early sex debut attributed to waning influence of cultural and traditional moral codes. Nia J. Soa, who is co-researcher for the project, spoke to GH1 television.
The most important thing we found is that people are having sex very early. I mean, as young as 8-9 years having sex. And that is translating into early pregnancies. And it's also further translating into abortions, unplanned termination of pregnancies. As much as 70% of the people we reached out to had been raped before, which is very concerning. And one of the violations is also coming from, unfortunately, our health service providers, where the treatment given to persons who try to seek some of these services are seen as denial.
The Curious Minds group says the fight is to contribute towards attaining Agenda 2030.
Agenda 2030 will not begin in the year 2030. We won't wake up in 2030 and look at the results that we are achieving as a result. As a result of what we are doing now, what is important is that even as we live now, we are contributing towards that same sustainable development goals. So the little steps we take, the micro efforts we make now is what will culminate in the success we want to see.
According to the group, Ghana must find a solution to the ailing problems of sexual and reproductive health services which plague our nation.
The newly coronated Greater Accra Mamprosi chief, Na Alhaji Zakaria Garuna Baguma, is appealing to stakeholders to bring lasting peace to the troubled towns of Boko in the Upper East region. Engaging journalists during his coronation, the chief called on the youth to take their education seriously as the surest way of reducing poverty and enhancing development. The coronation of the new Greater Accra Mamprosi chief, Na Alhaji Zakaria Garuna Baguma, brought together various dignitaries, including the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Chief Imam Sheikh Nuru Sharubutu, chiefs and indigenes of various ethnic groups in the Upper East region, politicians, and well-wishers from far and near. Delivering the keynote address at the event, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia called on the people of Mamprosi to remain united and also support their chief in bringing development to the area. He also advised the youth to take their education seriously as is the surest way of enhancing sustainable development.
Education will continue to be the key for our people, and that is why we continue to invest in education. Our government has brought about free senior high school education, and that has seen a 75% increase in enrollment in senior high schools from 800,000 in 2017 to 1.4 million by the end of last year.
Adorned in his full regalia, the newly coronated chief, Na Alhaji Zakaria Garuna Baguma, said his priority is to reduce poverty in Mamprosi and promote education among the youth. He also appealed to various stakeholders to bring lasting peace in troubled towns in the region and live in harmony.
Is in diversity because you have all tribes that are present here, and of course it is one of the processes or the medium that we are going to use to foster unity and peace among ourselves so far as the tribes are concerned at the north. Now the notion that the northerners, like you indicated, is actually not true and not accurate. Of course we are peace-loving people, and it was even part of my speech. I really emphasized that indeed we would want to use mediations to address our problems or issues.
The coronation saw the display of various cultural performances and appellations from various groups in the Upper West region. The Ghana Hotels Association is raising concerns about heavy taxes burdening operators in the hospitality industry. President of the association, Dr. Edward Akanyamiche, emphasized that with the current economic challenges facing the nation, these taxes, including the COVID-19 levy, needs to be given a second look by government as they contribute to deepening the woes of the industry players.
With the worst of COVID-19 over and WHO's declaration of end to COVID-19 as a global health emergency, we are at a loss why the 1% COVID-19 levy is still sitting comfortably in the Ghana Revenue Authority's tax bucket, adding on to our long list of tax obligations and increasing our operational costs. I'm sure you are aware of the new digitalized property rate payment regime that has been introduced by the government. Much as the association is not, and the emphasis is not against the payment of property rates, we are equally unhappy with the astronomical increases in the rates that property owners, including hoteliers, have to pay in the new regime. In an economy where businesses are struggling to survive, the astronomical increase in property rates with no reference to the old existing rates is very worrying and troubling. A well thought out incremental in the property rate would have demonstrated empathy to the plight of the struggling business community, including hotels. We call on government to take a second look at this faceless property rate regime that has the potential to contribute to the crippling of businesses.
And this is where we end this morning's bulletin. Grateful for your time. My name is Obed King Gaglo. GHToday continues with Lantam Papanko.